Today's Namaste Yoga is the first in a new series of classes on Vishnu, the god of preservation. Hello, welcome to episode 2. Here's our blanket, excellent. An asymmetrical twist. Dropping and sinking up. Notice how just notice joining us for the second episode of next week. Namaste. Hello and welcome to episode 108 of Namaste Yoga. I would just want to take a moment to mark this auspicious number. 108 is the number of beads on a mala. It's also 8 is a number of abundance. It's a very spiritual number. It also marks the fact that as a community, we in Namaste Yoga have been going for over 2 years now, which is pretty exciting. And so I would love to ask a favor of you this week. Tim has done this fabulous video on my homepage at www.melissawest.com. If you click on the comments link, you can go to a page on my website where it tells you exactly how to go to iTunes and leave your feedback and comments and rate Namaste Yoga on iTunes. So this will do a lot to help other people be able to find us and to make yoga accessible for a lot more people. And so we would love it and very much appreciate it if you would go to iTunes, rate us, and leave your comments. And as I said, if you're not sure how to do that, just go to www.melissawest.com/comments or click on the comments link, and there's a short video there that tells you how to do it for iTunes, and there's also a short video there that tells you how to do it for YouTube. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that in advance. Okay, so today we're starting a new series of classes on Vishnu. Vishnu has 10 incarnations, and over the next few weeks, we're not going to do all the incarnations, but we're going to do most of them. And we're going to work with, so for example, this week we're going to work with Garudasana, eagle's pose, and Garudasana, Garuda is the animal, the eagle that Vishnu rides on. One class we'll do on Vishnu's consort of Lakshmi. And so Vishnu came in several times as a fish, as a tortoise, as Krishna, the cowherder. And so we'll work through those over this series. Now this series is interesting because we're working with the concept of preservation. So as always when we work with the Hindu deities, I want you to know that it's not that I'm asking you to worship these gods. It's not that at all. We are working with them as reflections of aspects of ourselves. So when we work with Vishnu, we can ask about how this concept of preservation comes into our life. I think in our culture we're really connected to this idea of creation. So the god of creation would be Brahma, and destruction. Like we live in a disposable society where things get thrown out rather quickly. So Shiva is the god of destruction. But in the middle lies this idea of sustaining things and preserving things. And this is something as a culture I think we don't put a lot of emphasis on. We're often building or disposing in our culture. And so in an eco-sensitive culture, I think this idea of preservation and sustaining is an important one that we can work with and be curious about in our yoga practice. So we're going to start today's practice with legs up the wall. And in this space, I don't really have a wall, so I was going to give you another option for legs up the wall. You can see I've stacked up a couple of pillows here. And what you can actually do is watch me try and climb the pillows. These look higher than they did before. So you can sit up on the pillows and then lie back. You could use a block for this as well. But the pillows then just make it so simple for you to have your legs up in the air. And if you have a wall, it's great because you can lean your legs right against the wall. And we're going to start with sleeping eagle's arms. So take your left arm, hook your right arm underneath it, bring your right roof of your hand to your left palm, and then rest your right palm on your forehead where there's a marma point there. This is very calming. And this is called sleeping eagle. And we're going to start here. I'll get you to start here. So you stay here and I will sit up and contextualize this practice a bit for us. So this week we're working with Eagle's Pose. And Garuda is the demi-God which carries Vishnu around. He is the king of all the birds. And Garuda, the eagle, is a symbol of the wind and the sun. And the speed with which he travels from one world to another effortlessly means he is also a symbol of the esoteric wisdom of the Vedas. The power of the magical words of the Vedic writings give man symbolic wings with which he too can move from one world to the next with the speed of light. And so that's what Garuda represents. So Vishnu is the god of preservation. He was brought in to protect the universe after it was created and is available to protect the world. And Vishnu comes into the world in many incarnations. Whenever calamity occurs, Vishnu comes to earth in form. And when his work is done, he returns to the sea of consciousness and he lies on his snake bed coiled with Lakshmi. So Vishnu was appointed by Brahma, the god of creation, to restrain mankind and regulate the consequences of good and evil in the universe. So as you rest back here, I'm going to get you to change your arm position now. So this time, place your right arm in front, hook your left arm underneath, bring your left palm on top of your right one, and then rest your left hand on your forehead now. So sleeping eagle with your arms opposite. And let me give you a modification for this, because not everybody will be able to do this, but something as simple as your palms together and resting on your forehead works just as well, okay? Make sure to make your yoga work for you. So as you rest back here, I want you to reflect on this idea of preservation and sustaining. And since we're beginning a new series of classes, it could be interesting for you to create an intention and sankalpa that you'll carry across over the next 8 weeks. So you might want to create an intention that's a little bigger and that is going to sustain you for a little longer here. So how can your yoga best serve you in your life right now? And maybe even you want to intertwine your intention with the idea of preservation, of sustaining. And then when you've finished setting your intention, you can go ahead and bend your knees against the wall, release your arms, roll to your side, and come back down to lying on your back on the ground. Okay, so we're going to begin with a twist that starts to set us up for cow's face legs here. Actually, I just put those pillows away and I'll probably need them again, but that's okay. What you're going to do is cross your right leg all the way over your left leg. So these are cow's face legs, but you could go as far as hooking your right leg all the way around so you have eagle's legs. Choose which one's best for you. It may even be better for you to just keep your legs uncrossed, okay? So here's 3 options. Here, here, or hooked, okay? And each one gets progressively more challenging for you. You'll press into your left foot, lift your pelvis off the ground, tuck your right hip under, and lower your knees to your left side. Now here it can be useful to have those pillows that I just put away, or a bolster to stack up, especially if you're like me and you have SI joint issues. So there, this just, you can see that just makes it a little more level for your pelvis there. And in this position, your top right leg is actually giving an assist to your left leg. Oh, I just thought of something. Today I'm wearing my squeezed yoga clothes with the wings, which is great since we're doing eagle's pose. That wasn't really planned. Okay, and then come back to the center. And uncross your legs. And you might want to do knees to chest here would be a good option. And also, let's just circle your ankles here. Eagle's pose is all about the joints, as my friend Ninka likes to say. So we like to warm up our joints. Circle your feet the other way. Okay, and then lower your legs down. And this time, cross your right leg over your left leg. Press into your left leg. Pick up your hips. Tuck your left hip under. And cross your right leg all the way over to the other side. So I am actually going to use those cushions again on the other side. Make sure to prop your body so that it's comfortable for you. In my body, these twists are pretty intense for me. This twist is no joke. Okay, and then come back to the center, untuck, and hug your right knee into your chest. So let's just warm up your hip joint a little bit. Circle your right leg. And then circle the other way. And come to the center. Now circle your right ankle. And circle the other way. And then lower your right leg down and slide it out. And then draw your left leg in. Circle your left leg. And then circle the other way. And then come in the center and circle your ankle. And circle your ankle the other way. And then slide your left leg out and feel the evenness of your pelvis from side to side. And now bend your knees and roll to your right side and come up onto all fours. Okay, so we're going to do a little exercise now that will help us to release our hips for the eagle's legs that we're going to do. I'm going to put these away again. It doesn't mean I won't need them again. Okay, so you're going to cross your right leg in front of your left leg and cross crawl forward. This has taken some practice, so don't be surprised if it's not as easy as it might look. Okay, and then you're going to cross crawl backwards again. It's great for opening up and warming up your hip joint. And then when you get to your left leg in front of your right leg at the back of your mat, stay there. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Exhale, round up through your back. And inhale, arch through your back. So go back and forth like that. And then walk over to one side and do a little C curve in your spine. Stretch out your spine. And do that on the other side as well. Walk over to your left side. Stay long through the right side of your body. And then come back to the center again, and we're going to cross crawl forward again. And then cross crawl back. And when you get to the back of your mat with your right leg in front of your left leg, this time stay there. Spread your fingers wide underneath your shoulders. Options to come up onto your fist to keep your wrists straight. Turn your elbow creases so they face each other. And then breathe in and round up through your back. And breathe in and arch through your back. I said right leg in front of your left leg this time. Check out, make sure we're doing it right. Okay, then walk to one side. And then go to the other side as well. And then come back to center. And we're going to do downward facing dog from this position as well. So spread your fingers nice and wide. Keep your legs crossed. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips up. So I want you to play around with doing this with your feet wide and then also trying it with your feet narrow and feeling it's a totally different experience. So try both, and an option for this would be to do downward facing dog against a wall, would be less weight bearing, but you could still do your crossed legs. And in this pose, you want to roll towards the inside of your feet, which feels like you're rolling out here because your legs are crossed. And when you've done that on one side, you can switch your leg that's in front and try it on the other side as well. And do try both wide and narrow feet. It's a different experience. Okay, and then you can cross your legs and come back down onto all fours. We're going to do lunge pose with eagle's arms. So fold over the right side of your mat so you have extra padding for underneath your knees. And then walk your left leg through so you're in lunge pose. Okay, so sink down into your front left foot and come upright for upright lunge. And then take your right arm up in front of you and hook your left arm underneath you for eagle's arms here. Now, to make this easier, bring your elbows closer to your body and lower down. And if you want more of a challenge, pull your elbows away from your body and lift them up more. So see what works best for you. Great, and then release on this side. And then this time, you're going to fold up the left side of your mat and walk your right leg through for lunge pose. Sink down through your front right foot. Come upright for lunge. And bring your left arm up. And now hook your right arm underneath it. And play around with your arms here. Find that right spot. And if balance is an issue at all here, like I'm experiencing right now, just move your right foot out to the side a little bit more and widen your stance. Okay, and then release your arms, and from here we'll come up to standing. Nice position to come up to standing from, nice and easy. From standing, we're going to work with eagle's arms a bit. So take your right arm up and then hook your left arm underneath it. And maybe your palms will come to me. If they don't, that's totally fine. Be where you are in this pose. Another option here even is to do eagle's arms with your left arm across and hook your right arm underneath. So choose an option that works best for you. And then what you're going to do, regardless of whether you have eagle's arms or the other version, you're going to inhale and lift up and exhale and lower down. And let me show you what that looks like. You can do that with your arms like this as well. Inhale, lift up. Oh, that feels funky too. Exhale and lower down. Okay, so find which one works for you. Inhale up and exhale, lower down. And then the next piece is take your elbows to your left and your head to your right. And go back and forth like that. Move with breath. And come back to center. At this point, I'm going to give you a little break. So just release your arms, shake it out, maybe roll your shoulders back and down. Okay, so do you feel ready to do that again? A little bit different this time, but take your right arm up, hook your left arm underneath, and this time you'll inhale, reach up, and exhale, circle down and around. Breathe in up. And we can go the other way. Okay, and then release your arms. And if you have a mirror close by, you can go and look at the difference between your right and your left shoulder, but you can probably just look and see on me or feel it in your own body even better. Can you see the difference between my two shoulders? This one, your right shoulder probably looks dropped and a little bit further back to this left shoulder, which we haven't worked yet, which is higher and further forward. So see if you're experiencing that in your body too, or maybe go check it out in the mirror. And then we'll do the other side. So this is just an example of how our yoga creates these immediate effects in our bodies and on all layers of our bodies. Like, this is just one thing that you can see. This doesn't even show you the increase in synovial fluid in your joint. It doesn't show you how this affects all the fascia leading down to your wrists up to your neck. And you can't see how this is affecting your heart and your lungs as well. So this is just the effect that you can see. And to me, this shows the power and the incredible potential of yoga. Okay, let's do the other side. Bring your left arm up and hook your right arm underneath. And remember, your option is to take your left arm straight across and hook your right arm underneath. Okay, and then we started with inhale up and exhale lower down. Okay, now take your elbows to your left, your head to your right, and go back and forth. So your head and your elbows are turning in opposite directions. And then we took a little break here. So take a break. Shake it out. Good. And then let's do that again. So bring your left arm up. Hook your right arm underneath it. And now you're going to circle. Exhale as you come down and around. Inhale as you come up. And you'll go the other way. Okay, and then release your arms. Shake it all out. Now cross your left leg over your right leg and then hinge forward through your hips so that you come into a standing forward fold with your legs crossed. Now it can be useful here to raise the ground or bend your knees a bit. Maybe even hold on to your elbows. See what works best for you right now. We haven't done anything to stretch out the backs of your legs yet, so. And then slowly come up to standing. Uncross your left leg from your right leg. And now cross your right leg all the way over your left leg. Stand tall, roll your pelvis over your leg bones, lift and spread your sit bones behind you. Come into a standing forward fold on the other side. So options to bend your knees is an option. Hold on to your elbows. See what works best for you. Okay, and then come up nice and slowly. All right, we're going to do a modified version of Eagle's pose here. This, again, I learned from my friend Ninka. She does a really great Eagles class. In fact, she did an Eagles class for us before that you could take a look at. The way we're going to do it is we create less balance by bringing your feet together. And then sit back into chair pose. Bring your left arm, this would be your right arm, and hook your left arm underneath it. So you're doing a squat with Eagle's arms. And then you can come up slowly, release, shake out your arms and your legs. And then bring your feet back together again. so that you have a narrow base, more of a balanced challenge. Sit back into that chair pose. Remember Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Lift up your pelvic floor, draw your navel back to your spine. Take your left arm up, hook your right arm underneath it. And you can even play around with your arm position a bit here. I like bringing my arms forward in this pose. Sit back towards your heels, so you should be able to even lift your toes here, so the weight's in your heels. And then come up to standing again. And release. Now we're going to do the full expression of eagle's pose, and I'm going to give you some options along the way for this. So you'll stand on your right leg, lift and spread your toes. Take your left leg and cross it over. First option is to keep your left toes on the ground. You'll bend your right leg. Your second option is to place your left foot on the outside of your right leg. And then depending on the mobility of your hip joint and ankles, you may be able to hook your left foot all the way around. Then you layer on, find something that's not moving. Bring your right arm up and hook your left arm underneath it. And then release your arms and legs and shake out a little bit. Good job. Let's do this on your other side. So this time, stand on your left leg. Cross your right leg over. So again, the three options: toes on the ground, toes on the outside of your left leg, or maybe your foot hooks all the way around. Bring your left arm up, hook your right arm underneath it. I got to say that this class is really, really good for your brain because of all these cross patterns and your limbs crossing your midline so many times. You could probably count 1, 2, I think it's like 6 times you cross your midline. So good for your brain, connects your right and your left brain. And then release this pose from your body. And then just from all this closing, let's do the opposite. Take your hands around behind you and open up through your chest. Okay, and then release that down. And now we're going to come down to sitting. When you sit down with your legs straight in front of you. And you'll probably want to have a cushion or a block close by in case you need to prop your hips a little bit for this. So you'll start with sliding your right leg in and then crossing your right leg all the way over your left leg. Now some of you will stay here. That will be the end point for you in this pose. And that's totally fine. It could be useful also to sit with your back against the wall here as well. Now you can try to bring your left heel up to your right buttocks. And essentially you want these two knees to line up on top of each other. So the way you can modify this a bit is to take your pillow and and sit up on top of it. Okay? And then bring your right arm up and hook your left arm underneath it. So cow's face legs with eagle's arms. Okay, and then release your arms. Let's do a little twist here. So take your left hand to the outside of your right leg and look over your right shoulder. And come back to the center and twist to the other side. And come back to the center. Bring your left arm up again. Your right arm, hook your left arm underneath it again. One thing you can do here is fold forward as well. You may be able to hook your elbows all the way on the outside of your leg as well. See what works in your body. Okay, and then slowly up, uncross your legs. Oof. Shake it out. And we'll do this on the other side. So this time, slide your left leg in. Cross your right leg all the way over your left leg. So again, some of you will stay here. You keep your right leg long. If you want to, you can, or if your hips allow, I know we all want to, right? Bring your left heel up to your, bring your right heel up to your left buttocks. Sit up nice and tall. We'll start with a twist on this side. And then twist to the other side. Come back to the center. And now you'll bring your left arm up, hook your right arm underneath it for eagle's arms with cow's face legs, and hold here. And then hinge forward through your hips. And you can either place your right elbow on the top of your left leg, or maybe in your body you'll be able to hook over your knee and fold forward here. And come up to sitting, and we'll sit cross-legged, or in any comfortable position. You might need a little shake out after that. Sit in a comfortable position for you, cross-legged or kneeling, or maybe even in a chair. I'm going to turn slightly more towards you. And we're going to finish with the Garuda mudra, the eagle's mudra. So take your hands, palms face you with your thumbs up, and then start to cross your thumbs, and you're going to hook your thumbs and bring that to the level of your heart center. This is the Garuda mudra. Close your eyes, lengthen up tall through your spine, roll your shoulders back and down, bring your ears back over your shoulders. So you can finish your practice sitting here with the Garuda mudra, the eagle's mudra, for a little bit longer. And then do lie back on your back for Shavasana for at least 5 minutes, hopefully 5 to 10 minutes. You could even go back to legs up the wall to finish your practice. So thank you so much for joining us for episode 108 of Namaste Yoga. We do appreciate you so much taking the time to go to iTunes to leave your rating and your comments there to help other people find Namaste Yoga. And we also want to thank squeezed.ca for their fabulous yoga clothing, because they sponsor our show with their clothing. Namaste.